I'm going to call this meeting to order as soon as I get everybody in their place here. Good evening. I want to welcome everybody on this another beautiful spring evening. Not like when we had 2 weeks ago, probably. We'll call the meeting to order. Call the roll, please.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Klein. Yes.
Okay, I need a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion of the agenda before we call the roll? Not call the roll, please.
Schott.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Klein. Yes.
Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Tonight on the consent agenda, we have the minutes of the April 18th, 2022 regular city council meeting. We have payments and contract services for Ethos Design Group, Hotel Patty Facility Evaluation in the amount of $1,033.37. We have claims, registers, and financials in the amount of $921,854.07. Tonight for license permits, we have one Los Dos Amigos Mexican restaurant doing business as Casa de Oro, located at 1211 Second Street, renewal of a Class C liquor license with Sunday sales privilege. The police and fire inspections have been completed and of course are on file at City Hall. I need a motion to approve these consent agenda items.
I'll second that.
Any discussion of those items before we call the roll? If not, call the roll, please.
Klein. Yes. Kirkland.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Walling. Yes. Schott.
Yes.
Okay, we're up to city administrator's report.
All right, we have a few things this evening to go over. First off, the airport grading of the first 4,000 feet of grading. They should be ready to get started this week or next, depending on when the rain stops. So as soon as they can and they're not running around in the mud and the muck, they will be out moving dirt on that initial phase. With next Wednesday, the bid opening for the 1,500 feet of extension grading and then the full 5,500 feet of paving. So that bid opens next week. Also next week is the pre-construction meeting for the Bateman reconstruction project up by the Foundry and Weiss. Also wanted to highlight Earth Day and then Arbor Day. Earth Day, I went to the elementary school and spoke with all of the third graders, and then went to St. Pat's and spoke with the whole school about all of the different things that the city does for the earth and making sure that we're taking care of our planet. So I went over, of course, our solar panels, our wastewater treatment plant, and then I talked about tree planting, which last Friday, the Parks Department with John Anderson, Kevin Canale, and Mike Peterson all helped the elementary kids and St. Pat's kids plant a tree at Weiss Park. So some nice little outreach there. Also, that Friday of Earth Day was the career fair at the high school, which was a really great turnout. Not only just the students, but a ton of employers and a lot of employers that were looking to hire right then. So we had our Parks Department there, as well as Public Works Department, just to kind of talk about some of our city jobs that we have, not only what we have open, but also just kind of careers in those fields. And then also Bolton and Mink was there to talk about all of the career paths that they have, including planning. And part of that was some public outreach on the comprehensive plan to learn what was important to those high school students. So some really great, not only outreach with the comp plan, but a great way to get engaged with some of those students. So that's kind of what I've got. Does anybody have any questions?
We had a fun week.
It was a fun week.
I have a question. What was the best question the kids asked you? Sometimes they ask some really cute questions.
Man,
Nothing stands out.
there's always a lot.
Uh-huh.
They had a lot of good questions.
Good.
And the elementary school and St. Pat's kids had, the St. Pat's kids really stumped me because they had a lot of questions, just exactly how solar panels work and how they're made and things like that. And I said, that sounds like your teacher should do a lesson just on solar panels. Probably making it up.
Topic for another day.
They really stumped me there. The elementary school students were really interested in trees, talking about the emerald ash borer and what that does, and then how we have our tree nursery and go plant trees within the parks and things like that. And so lots of fun. Also, probably being around all the students, I caught a cold, so that was also great.
No, the kids are always fun and they always have lots of good questions.
Yeah.
I figured
I
this
do,
year.
and-
probably would
And
say.
that was, it was 2019 was the last time I did that, so it was nice to be back at the elementary in St. Pat's, talking to the kids about Earth Day.
All right, good deal. Anything else for Sven?
How are we coming with the solar project? Are we getting hooked up?
We are getting more hooked up. I know they were over here doing some work at City Hall. I want to say the police department is pretty well squared away, other than flipping the switch, so as soon as some of those start happening, I think probably they're just probably putting some finishing touches out at the rec center. So I haven't seen them around down here for a few days, and I was gone a couple days last week, but I think they've been making some really good progress.
Anything else for Sven?
Is still being looked into. So.
All right. Next item is mayor council comments. I want to recognize a couple special weeks that we have going on this week. May 1st to 7th is National Small Business Week. And, it's an opportunity to celebrate our small businesses and their important part in our community, and how resilient they've had to be in the last couple of years with the pandemic. And, they've worked hard with the community to keep things going, and we've worked with them as well. So, it's been a good couple of years working with them, but now they're working hard to move forward and help out with our economic comeback. So I certainly want to recognize our small businesses, and also, once again, encourage people to shop local. We have some great small businesses in our downtown. We're doing revitalization, and businesses individually are doing revitalization. Some good times are happening downtown with our businesses. And the other important week I want to recognize this week, also May 1st to 7th, is National City Clerk Week. We are so fortunate to have Liz as our city clerk. I don't know that a lot of people outside of city government, I probably didn't fully realize until I was more involved in city government, how important that position is. In a nutshell, the city clerk provides quality public service and communication with the public, and provides a link between citizens and city government. City clerk responsible for upgrading and maintaining city ordinances, working hard to get our council packet out to us every week, and just keeping records straight. And I really think that Liz does a great job. I hope you agree with me. I'm sure you do. In fact, quite honestly, last Friday, one of our local citizens said to me, the city crews, city employees do a great job, which I concur with. And she said that person in City Hall, the city clerk, really is always helpful, does a good job, and I concur. Personally, my experience with Liz is she's always got a smiling face and always there to help. And I think most people feel that way. So thanks, Liz.
Thank you.
And she's going to take off the rest of the week to enjoy her week. All right. I think that's all I have. That's quite a bit, recognize those important weeks that we have going on this week. Council, what do you have for comments?
I guess I'll go. I don't know if now is the appropriate time to bring it up or not. Barb touched on a bit about the thing on Sunday. And in the short time that I've been a part of the city council, I have a what I would describe as a laundry list of public concerns, comments, complaints, things like that about the rec center. Go over some of those now. Is there a better time? I have I made a list.
Okay.
It's gonna make this meeting long, unfortunately.
Let's maybe chat about that
Okay.
later, because like I said, I did send an email out this afternoon. I don't know if everybody had a chance to see it or not.
Yep.
But they
Yeah,
are
this-
still,
what I have. is
looking into
zero to
it.
do with that, so.
so, okay.
Maybe we can have a work session on that. Something like that, maybe.
We can talk about that, yeah.
We need to see what's going on with concerns and see what we can do to address them. Anything else for council comments? Okay, if not, we'll move on to open forum. As usual, speakers will be asked to step up to the microphone and state their name and address for the record, and individuals speaking will be given up to 3 minutes to address the council. Do we have anybody here for open forum tonight? Either in person or on Zoom? If not, we'll move on to our special presentation. Tonight, we are also fortunate that we have the Des Moines Area Community College DMAC President Denson is here tonight to provide a special presentation to the council. I see Eddie is also here from our local DMAC. So on campus, and maybe Eddie will have some words for us too. So I want to thank both of you gentlemen for coming tonight and giving us an update.
Well, thank you very
I'll
much.
turn it over to you.
Well, thank you very much. And I want to again thank Perry for everything you've done. Our Van Kirk Academy is something we're very proud of. And I can tell you, we have a number of communities that would like more involvement from DMAC, but none of them have the spirit or wherewithal to help make it happen. So we're very proud of this academy. And this is actually my second time in Perry in 2 weeks. I was here last week having lunch with a number of our students. And I have lunch on every campus site or with some of our students. And this was the best one ever. Very engaged students, not bashful at all. I don't think Eddie had them put up to anything, but of course, Eddie Diaz has done a great job here, and we're very pleased about the future of this particular facility. And what I'm doing is this year I started going around to all the city councils where we've got a site and kind of do a quick state of DMAC, kind of letting you know what's going on. And even though we've had a rough year in many ways, a rough couple of years, we come out of it well. And it's the 56th year of DMAC's existence. I'm the 4th president in 56 years. I'm the first native born Iowan to be president of DMAC, something I'm extremely proud of. And again, we love what we do. We serve 6,550 square miles, obviously the economic sweet spot of Iowa. This lists our 6 accredited campuses plus a number of centers that we have. So we are the largest land mass of any of the 15 community college districts in town or in the state. By far, we're the largest community college. Again, we serve a lot of students and more students come to us all the time. We serve about 36,000 credit students, 22,000 non-credit students. We have students from every county of the state of Iowa coming to one of our 230 degrees programs or certificates. Our high school work, what we have about 15,000 high school students every year take college credits with us. We actually have 75 high school students that will graduate this coming Wednesday with their 2-year DMAC degree the same week they graduate from high school. Those kids have had to pay attention and work hard. Obviously, as you look toward the right side, like everybody in the pandemic, things slowed down a little bit, but it looks like it's coming back very strong this summer and fall. Market penetration, I love these slides. Red means more growth as far as the percentage of college-age students coming to DMAC. So that was 2000. This is 2010. This is 2019. Clearly, we've done a really good job of trying to make sure that we are within driving distance of every student within our district, and more students are coming to DMAC. I mentioned our numbers were almost 56% female, 23% minority. Only 21% of our students are there for a career and technical education class, which I'm surprised it's that low, but all of our CTE programs are full. So a lot of our growth is on the liberal arts side. So we're very excited about that. 226 degree certificates and diplomas, 19 majors. Our top 6 majors are liberal arts. Those are students transferring on for a 4-year degree. And then health sciences, criminal justice, advanced manufacturing, computers, and business. Again, we grow programs based on demand, so we try to be responsive. Everybody loves DMACC students. We are the only community college in the world that Cornell articulates with. They did a year's worth of due diligence to make sure that our numbers were good. We articulate every university and every private school in the state. We just articulated with Tuskegee University. We're the only community college in the Midwest that Tuskegee articulates with. We're now working on our first comprehensive strategic plan. We call it SOAP, Strategy on a Page. We're looking at what we're doing with our stakeholders, our own people and innovation, our internal processes, and our stewardship. And as I say to everyone, we run like a business. We open programs based on demand. We close them when the demand goes away. So we have to run like a business and really live and work at real time. Where our two of our higher level initiatives are diversity, equity, and inclusion, and guided pathways. What Guided Pathways is, it's a national movement that really starts at the end of K-12 and helps students decide, what pathway they should be on. We help them get on the path, stay on the path, and we make sure they've got a quality education. It really helps streamline the educational process. We don't want students taking any more credits than they need to. And we want them to be able to see the end when they start with us, and then we help them get there. The second initiative is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Clearly, as Iowa becomes much more diverse, much of our workforce and our skilled workforce depends upon persons of all backgrounds coming to DMACC and getting that education and going on to work for one of our local companies. So we want to make sure that everything we do is as welcoming as it can. Some of our college successes, college and career transition counselors. These are partnerships we have with K-12s where we hire licensed school counselors to work with juniors and seniors, not to come to DMACC necessarily, but to go wherever they want to go. So we actually received a grant to hire one last year. We hired 8. We had another grant this year to hire another one. We're up to 10. We partner with the K-12s and I chair the Governor's STEM Council, Counselor Engagement Committee. And all these K-12 counselors, they're so busy doing so many things, including mental health and discipline and registration. We're there to provide them additional help. So it's been a great program led by the State of Iowa Department of Education. And we also just received a $2 million earmark statewide. Congresswoman Miller Meeks ran it on behalf of Indian Hills, but it's a statewide earmark grant so that we can hire even more transition counselors. And this coming fall, we'll get our first year of good data. And I'm sure we'll be going back to the legislature because this is the best practice. We have too many kids coming out of high school with not really having the chance to meet with someone to talk about career development. And we want to make sure that we're giving them the support they need. Dennis and Susan Albaugh. Dennis Albaugh is one of Iowa's billionaires. His only degree after high school is with DMACC. This is the night he and his wife, Susan, gave us the $1 million lead gift to transform our culinary arts facility from an ugly block building into a phenomenal facility. We're in the 37th year of bringing French chefs over to work with our students. In January, we sent 8 students to France in May to work in French restaurants. One of the reasons the food in Central Iowa is so good, and what I tell everybody, if you go to any restaurant in Central Iowa, always ask if there's a DMACC chef in the kitchen. Generally there is, and if not, you should leave. But it's been a great experience. This is Carl and Penny Moyer. Carl runs Carl Chevrolet. This is the day he gave us our lead gift for $1 million to transform our auto tech facility, double the size. Went from, again, an ugly block building into something pretty amazing. And this, we had and once it was open, this was 360 high school kids from all over the state. We host the only statewide auto tech competition. A lot of young women in there, so we're very excited to see more diversity in that particular group. We're doing a $25 million addition to our urban campus. Our urban campus in downtown Des Moines is the first majority students of color college and university campus in the state. Everything to the right of the DMACC letters is STEM education labs. On the left side is a new conference center and a student center. We serve about 5,000 students there every year. And we've also partnered with UNI down there, where UNI offers the last 2 years of a 4-year degree right on our campus. And if a student is low income, the University of Northern Iowa will buy down the tuition so these students can get a 4-year degree at DMACC tuition. So it's a big deal with them. Fairway gave us $250,000 for our addition to our Boone campus. It's an $8 million addition to our wellness and athletic facility. It's been very, very exciting. Because we had a new facility, this is what my coaches said, we finally won the National Men's Basketball Championship last year. This was the day they all came back. We're very, very proud of them. That's what a championship ring looks like. It weighs too much for me to carry it around, but it's really been a lot of fun. This year we came in third in the nation. So we've got a very serious athletic program at Boone. And the important thing is we've got the highest graduation rate of any of the college and university athletic programs in the state of Iowa. Because we want them to be good athletes, but they've got to be good students and leave us to be successful. In Carroll, we just finished a $6 million addition, adding a new welding center, a lot of classrooms, some conference space. Down in the lower left-hand corner is Jim Knott, who was the provost there, is now on a DMAC board. We were cutting the ribbon for the facility. He and his wife, Marge just recently passed away. They raised about $1 million to name the conference center after Jim and Marge. So it's really a nice facility. When Maytag sold out to Whirlpool and left Newton, they gave us to all the downtown corporate office buildings, which are in our same block. Beautiful historic buildings that were very, very well built. We're now in the process of working with the state and the city. We just got a $14 million award from the Iowa Economic Development Authority to put in market rate housing, a nice hotel, a conference center. So we're very excited about returning that to some of its former glory and making it an economic facility for Newton. So it's really very nice facility. All politics aside, we want every politician we can to get them on our campus, particularly presidential candidates. This is Joe and Kamala. When they were running for office, we had every presidential candidate on campus for a forum, partnering with Goldman Sachs and Iowa Public Broadcasting. And we give every president a brass medallion, presidential medallion made by our students. I have not seen President Biden, but Dr. Jill Biden was on campus, so I gave her his medallion. But Trump has one, Obama has one, so we want to make sure that they see what our students can do. Transportation security in 2011, TSA came to us, wanted us to create a Homeland Security certificate for the Des Moines Airport screeners. We put these 3 classes together. We put it online in 2014 and 2017. The head of TSA from Washington, D.C. flew in, summoned us to the airport, said there were 90 colleges and universities doing Homeland Security training for their airports, but they were so happy with what DMAC was doing that they fired 78 of them and gave us 36 states, 222 airports, 22,000 agents to train. So that was a pretty big deal. They went from 80 down to 2. And that was a big deal until 2019 when they fired the other one. Now we've got all 440 airports, 44,000. So we are the sole provider of Homeland Security for every airport in the United States. So we're very excited, and TSA pays for the certificate. And if one of their screeners does not have a 2-year degree and wants one, TSA will pay them to go through DMAC's 2-year online program. And this last May, we had a TSA graduate from every state in the union. So it's run by our criminal justice department, but it just talks about the quality of our faculty. We created the Iowa Cyber Hub with Iowa State. It's a 2+2. It's a model program that we're giving the curriculum away because cybersecurity is only going to be bigger as time goes on. And we were speaking of cybersecurity by the national NSA, National Security Administration, just named DMAC a Center of Excellence for Cybersecurity Design. We're the only one in the state of Iowa with such a designation. And as I always say, I don't think it had anything to do with the fact that we were breached last year, but maybe because we were breached and all of our systems worked and the bad guys got nothing. But we've got a very good cybersecurity program. We now lead senior college for Central Iowa. Our continuing education department runs it for seniors that are interested in various kinds of courses and programs. I mentioned Goldman Sachs earlier. We're in the 7th cohort of a 10,000 small business program. We're the first statewide consortium for Goldman Sachs. And we bring in small businesses, put them through a kind of a mini MBA program, and then they go back, and then we've got companies from all over the states. We have all of the state of Iowa. We've completed 184, and we're now in our 7th cohort with 23 businesses. Extremely successful program, and we're in the 4th year of this Goldman Sachs partnership. Kosovo, we try to have an international year every year. We partnered with Kosovo a couple of years ago. Kosovo is the most pro-American country in the world. The Iowa National Guard was instrumental in helping them win their independence. I've been to Kosovo 3 times. You walk down the streets. This is the main street in Pristina, the capital. You see Iowa flags everywhere. They love Iowans, and it is a beautiful country. It's probably not on any of your top 2 or 3 places in the world to visit, but it should be. Most people speak English. The prices are unbelievably reasonable, and the people love America. So again, we've had a good time with that. We did get a $1 million grant from the Millennium Challenge Corporation. They sent 28 women from Kosovo to all expenses paid, 2 years at DMAC to learn energy trades, wind, solar, tool and die, welding. And this was the graduation we had this past May. Their average GPA was 3.8 on a 4-point scale. Extremely bright women, and they're now back in Kosovo working in the trades. Speaking of wind, this is the day that this is Catherine Kunert, one of the vice presidents of Mid-America. They gave us a used nacelle for our wind energy program. We've also got a number of solar units there, so we're very happy about that. Downtown Des Moines has the Evelyn K. Davis Center for Working Families. The Annie Casey Foundation has a model of how to work with community individuals that want to improve their lives. We opened the center, we ran out of space, we got a building closer to campus. That mural there was actually painted by a DMAC graduate. So it's a beautiful facility. We serve, I mentioned we serve 5,000 students on our urban campus. We serve 5,000 students just out of this building every year with short-term training. And again, I want to thank our Iowa legislators. They've been extremely supportive of community colleges to make sure that because of their support, we've opened a number of new certificate programs, particularly for those individuals that don't have time to spend 2 years. Our wastewater program has been extremely important for a lot of rural communities. The Governor's Future Ready Iowa program provides free college for up to, I think it's about 58 programs now that are in high demand. In the last 2 years, we've had 2,886 students draw down over $7.2 million. So before you have to take out a loan, the state will step in and pay your tuition in these 58 different programs. It's a great program that the governor started, and we've been very involved with helping her move it forward. Future Ready Perry, this is where Eddie's slides got in and he told me they didn't. He's done a great job here, by the way, and I told you, but I think I can almost rate it $175,000 in grants. We have how many students from high school come to DMAC this fall?
Next year's 38.
38.
It's about 27% of all.
Well, and you do know we want them all. So we think we do a pretty good job. And again, we got here's the students coming, so we're very pleased with that. We just had a event out here, or event the other night. Where was this taken?
What's that?
Where was it? This picture
This
taken?
is for the homeless for graduation.
Okay.
High school homeless program.
We've done a lot with Tyson, and as I told Eddie this morning, Tyson's just announced free tuition, college tuition for their employees. So we're going to work to do even more with them. I mentioned Dennis Alba earlier. He's got a 19-hole golf course on the north side of Ankeny. He hosts a golf tournament for DMAC this last year in a one-day tournament. We netted $407,000. Every dollar given to the DMAC Foundation goes to students. We take no money off for overhead. That's all covered with college funds. So we're very excited about that. We are one of 13 colleges picked by the National Science Foundation to improve our STEM education. Again, this is one of 13 colleges in the United States that was chosen, and DMAC's very excited about participating. We also partnered with the Lumina Foundation and New America. We're one of 6 community colleges picked nationally to explore our workforce development programs. And what excites me about this is these are some of the best colleges in the country. And of course, I think we're in that group, and we're looking for even ways to be better because we're all in a workforce challenge right now. So we're very proud of what our people do. Amazon, we were just selected by Amazon to be the first education partner in the state. They provide free college education to all their associates. I just spent 2 evenings there last week. recruiting students. So it's a great thing that that employer does. And as I mentioned, Tyson's going to be doing the same thing. Last December, the governor gave DMAC $1 million to open up a new vocational career academy in Templeton, Iowa. We bought a building in downtown Templeton. We partnered with 7 of the K-12s out there. We'll be doing welding, healthcare, computer science, and a few other majors. So we're excited about that. And I mentioned Amazon and I mentioned Google. We're also negotiating with Tesla. Google did choose us as one of 2 community colleges in the country to pilot their software engineering certificate. They actually provide this certificate free to DMAC's 20 students that they pick. And in addition, they give each of our students $5,000 to go through the program. So it's a great honor to be one of their pilot schools in the country. In 2016, we were picked as number 10, and I don't mean number 10 of the 15 community colleges in Iowa. Based on value, we were picked as number 10 of the 1,717 programs in the United States. We have the highest bond rating of any community college in Iowa. We have the lowest property tax levy rate of any community college and the lowest tuition and fees of any college or university in the state. Like I say, we run like a business and we're excited to help our students. But the big news is also in December, Forbes magazine picked DMAC as the #1 employer in the state of Iowa. We didn't give them any money. We didn't sponsor anything. We called them and they said we were the first college or university to ever be picked #1 in their state as #1 employer. Principal Financial is #4. John Deere was #5. State of Iowa was #6. Iowa State is #9. University of Iowa is #13. But I mean, who pays attention to numbers? But we're very excited about this, and we're always in the top 30. But this year to be picked #1, it's really an honor. So again, our brand is Life's Calling. Our tagline is if it's dreamable, it's doable. We're reaching out to students, and when this came down from marketing, I said, when we put up the billboards, what we really should say is Life's Calling, answer your darn phone. Now is the time. If you know anybody that wants to improve their life or needs to improve, with Future Ready Iowa, Last Dollar Scholarship, our foundation, which this year is in its 50th year, will give away $2 million worth of scholarships. And there are just lots of great jobs waiting. And just encourage anybody that needs to improve their life to come see us. I can't guarantee it's going to be free, but more than likely it's going to be extremely affordable, if not free. So I just want to thank all of you for your support. And again, there are a lot of communities would love to have an academy like the Van Kirk Academy, but you guys had the heart to make it happen. So thank you so much. Any questions?
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I don't have a question, but I just want to say, how impressive your presentation was, and even more important, how impressive DMAC is for the state and for Perry locally. Perry has grown so much and benefited from DMAC, and I know my wife's on the school board, and I know how much she appreciates DMAC and the kids' opportunity to, as you just said, they can graduate with a 2-year degree the same time they graduate from high school. That's quite impressive,
And we're getting a lot more students that are coming up with us for the 2-year degree. I mentioned our number of credit students is 36,000. Our average class size is 18. Now, I was just with a student in our honors program before I came over here, and he said, from went to North High, and he said he talks to all his friends that are going to big universities, spending 2 or 3 times as much and don't even know who their instructors are. He rattled off the name of our full-time instructors that he's been working with one-on-one, particularly in this area of math. Our faculty could teach anywhere, but they want to help community college students make their lives better.
As you indicated a couple of times during your presentation, I believe, so many communities would love to have what Perry has with our Van Kirk Academy, but it's so fortunate that DMAC and Perry could work together to make this happen.
Well, I'm recognized several of you from the good old days when we put this thing together. It took some time, but we got it done.
We're so fortunate. And as you said, I think Eddie does a great job working with the community and keeping us going.
All right, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Next item on our agenda is public hearing. We now have a public hearing on proposed amendment to the Perry Urban Renewal Area. The purpose of this public hearing will be to receive statements or comments on amending the urban renewal plan for the Perry Urban Renewal Area and designating an expanded Perry Urban Renewal Area pursuant to Chapter 403 Code of Iowa by adding and including certain real property. This public hearing will now open it at 6:35 PM.
So this is just part of the TIF stuff that we've been working on. So if you remember back a few meetings ago, we took a piece of property out of our area. This is just putting it back in.
Any comments from anybody or questions? If not, I guess we'll close this public hearing at 6:36 PM. Thank you. And we'll move on to old business. First item under old business is a resolution to declare necessity and establish an urban renewal area pursuant to section 403.4 of the Code of Iowa and approve urban renewal plan amendment for the Perry Urban Renewal Area. This resolution would approve the expansion of the urban renewal area and approve the urban renewal plan amendment May 2022 as was discussed during the public hearing held May 2, 2022. Need a motion?
I make a motion to pass a resolution to declare necessity and establish the urban renewal area pursuant to section 403.4 Code of Iowa and approve the urban renewal plan amendment for the city of Perry Urban Renewal Area.
Second.
Discussion?
You don't want to repeat it?
My
So-
tongue twisted a little, sorry.
This is simply approving adding that piece back into the urban renewal plan.
Any further discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Schott.
Next item under old business, resolution approving a plat of survey for the Iowa Street wetland. This action formally creates a new parcel number 22-34. This parcel will be utilized as a wetland to collect stormwater drainage in the area. The Planning and Zoning Commission met on April 15th, 2022, and recommended approval of this action to the council. Due to time restraints, the Community and Economic Development Department asked for council to participate in a phone poll on April 21, 2022. This action to create such parcel was carried by a majority vote by the council. This resolution formally approves the plat of survey for parcel number 22-34. Need a motion, please?
I move that we pass a resolution approving a plat of survey for the
Discussion?
So this is for the 8-acre piece out at Iowa Street and 141, and we closed on it last week, so we officially own that. Plans are almost to the 30% done mark, hoping to still bid that this summer and possible construction this year. Hopefully after the rain. That perfect moment where it stops raining so that we can do dirt work and harvest crops and everything.
I do have a question.
Yes.
This last rain we had, it was 18th Street or Iowa Street, is correct?
Yep.
Is that going to have any effect to this?
That is the intent, correct? Is that there's a lot of hydraulic pressure issues in that area between there and Matt's gonna come up and correct me.
He's right on. So yeah, one of the things we're looking at is the whole inclusive system there. Right now, the water backs up in the storm sewer system and actually forces water all the way back up to 18th. Our goal is to create more capacity, pull some of that down. I will say it won't go up 18th. But I think you probably noticed some of that flooding up the street to the north as well. It won't reach quite that far, but it will help alleviate a lot of that in the system there.
Basically, it'll hold water on
Right, yeah, yeah, we're playing with time of concentration is what we're doing. So how fast we're letting it go from different spots within the system.
And does Summer Meadows work there, does that drain into 18th?
I have to look to be sure.
Because in front of our house, it's flooded and
Sure.
then I'm wondering if there-
I'd have to look to make sure. I can get back to you on that one though.
There's one more area, 8th and Willis. That's a school crossing zone. We don't have a sewer there. Why don't we have a sewer that's always full of water? In the winter, it fills with ice. People slide around that. I've gone down on my bike going to Ragbri on that or to Burr. It's a bad spot. Why don't we have a sewer there?
There are significant stretches along Willis that don't have storm sewer. Just over the years, it was a highway. So a lot of times that was not in the plan when that was built, but certainly is something we've looked at over the years. It takes a lot to get it there though. The nearest sewer is quite a ways away.
Well, and even the sidewalk gets completely full of water, so the kids have to walk through that.
Yeah, it's kind of
That's a bad spot.
it's kind of a nasty low spot right there.
It really.
Yep. We tried to move some of that around with some of the asphalt, but you can only do so much without having somewhere for it to go.
Almost need to raise that sidewalk even just for the kids.
Sure.
Any other discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Walling,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Next item under old business, resolution approving a plat of survey to establish the Perry Industrial Park Plat 5. This action formally approved the establishment of Plat 5. This establishment reconfigures the lot lines to the southwest section of the Perry Industrial Park. Lots C and D will be used for future road extensions. Lot 2 will be swapped with Highline for Lot D. Lot 5 will be the site of an electrical substation, and Outlet B is the drainage basement. The Planning and Zoning Commission met on April 15th, 2022, and recommended approval of this action to the council. Due to the time constraints, the Community and Economic Development Department asked for council to participate in a phone poll on April 21st, 2022. The action to create such parcel was carried by a majority vote by the council. This resolution formally approves the Plat 5 of the Perry Industrial Park. Need a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve resolution approving of to establish the Prairie Industrial Park.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Okay, if there's no discussion, I would call the roll.
Klein,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Scott,
Thank you. Next item under old business, approval of agreement with Sambetic Inc. for professional services in order to receive federal funding through the FAA. They require that an independent fee estimate be performed in accordance with the FAA Advisory Circular 150/151-14 Architectural Engineering and Planning Consultant Services. This agreement would be for an independent fee estimate to be performed for runway 14/32 relocation and extension phase 2 construction administration by Sambetic in accordance with the FAA for a lump sum amount of $3,500. Motion, please.
I make a motion, we approve the agreement with Sabatech Incorporated for professional services.
Discussion.
So this is just kind of that same thing that we do for each of our professional services agreement with the airport project. Just double checking Farrier's math. So.
Any further discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to new business. First item under new business is resolution authorizing a fireworks permit for J&M Displays, Inc. J&M Displays has requested a fireworks permit issued to them on behalf of the Perry Chamber of Commerce. Chapter 125 of the Perry Code of Ordinance states that approval is required prior to fireworks being displayed within the Perry city limits. The display would take place on the evening of July 4th, 2022, as part of the festivities celebrating Independence Day. Certificate of liability insurance has been received, and with passage of this resolution would allow the issuance of the required permit. Motion, please. Discussion?
This is kind of unrelated, but since it's about fireworks, and I sent this to Chief Vaughn and Mr. Dalen and a few other staff. But the state did pass an amendment to their law. Some of you may have seen it in the league legislative link update, but they did preempt cities from controlling where fireworks can be sold based on zoning. So that was one of the things that we had discussed,
Right.
and that is now off the table. So
Yeah, we didn't include that as part of.
be
our
aware of
ordinance
that.
anyway, so I guess- Had we'd have to go back and redo
That's
that, but
right.
but we did not, so we're okay.
save us some money in publications.
Any further discussion on the fireworks permit? If not, call the roll, please.
Walling,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Berkland,
Yes.
Lawler,
Yes.
Schott,
Thank you. Next item under new business, resolution approving a downtown Perry Upper Store Housing Pilot Program application. The city has received an application for the downtown Upper Story Housing Pilot Program. 8 units will be rehabilitated at 1216 Second Street to include a fire suppression system per the program's parameters. Up to $10,000 per unit can be requested. Totally $80,000 for this proposal. Staff has reviewed the application from Hometown Rental Properties LLC and believes it meets the requirements for funding. The application is now forwarded to the council for final consideration and possible approval. Need a motion, please. Discussion.
I'm excited for this, 'cause I lived there in 75. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Well, I know. Yep. Danny has been working on these for a little bit. We've been in discussions about incentives, and kind of that's what helped form this pilot program. So he was able to put his application together and be the first one in for the funding. So, but really, really great sounding, 8 units downtown. I don't know how official it is yet, but we did receive initial notification that the Tin Pig building or the Gamble Block building received the grant from the state that we applied for. So
Great.
that will be another 13 units. So really looking forward to getting all of those working and online and open, and some much needed housing available within our
There's a
downtown.
ton of demand for rentals around here. I've
Yep,
got people
there
call
really
me
is.
every week.
There is.
Yeah.
You guys all have everything rented out right now? So I always call you folks and ask a lot of times because people will call me.
Yep.
It'll be
So-
great to have that extra.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need a variety of housing. This gives us some more of that, so. Any further discussion on this resolution? If not, call the roll, please.
Walling, Lawler,
Yes.
Berkland,
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item under new business, resolution setting a date of meeting at which it is proposed to approve a development agreement with KM Baxter Investments LLC, including annual appropriation tax increment payments in an amount not to exceed $100,000. KM Baxter Investments LLC has requested financial assistance via tax increment financing TIF for an industrial development located at 913 Evelyn Street. With the amendment to the urban renewal plan approved, the city can now utilize TIF for this project upon approval of a development agreement. State code requires a public hearing as part of the approval process for this development agreement. This resolution will seek a public hearing for May 16th, 2022 to review and decide on the proposed development agreement. Need a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to pass resolution setting a date of meeting at which is proposed to approve a development agreement with KM Baxter Investments LLC, including annual appropriation tax, increment payments in an amount not to exceed $100,000.
Second?
Yeah.
You
well,
seconded, okay. Discussion?
Yep, this is just setting the public hearing.
Okay,
Same with the next one as well.
right. Any comments before we vote to set the public hearing? If not, call the roll, please.
Mahler.
Yes.
Walling. Yes. Berkeley.
Yes.
Schott. Klein.
Yes.
Okay, next item under new business, resolution setting a date of meeting at which it is proposed to approve a development agreement with Semper Fi Commercial Solutions LLC, including annual appropriation tax increment payments in an amount not to exceed $185,000. Semper Fi Solutions LLC has requested financial assistance via tax increment financing TIF for an industrial development located on lots 1 and 2 of Perry Industrial Park. With the amendment to the urban renewal plan approved, the city can now utilize TIF for this project upon approval of a development agreement. State code requires a public hearing as part of the approval process for this development agreement. This resolution will set a public hearing for May 16th, 2022 to review and decide on the proposed development agreement. So again, this, like the former one, this is just setting the date.
I make a motion, we set a date of meeting which is proposed approved a development agreement with Semperfi Commercial Solutions LLC, including annual appropriation tax increments payments in the amount not to exceed $185,000.
Any discussion related to setting the public hearing date? If not, call the roll, please.
Berkeley.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Walling. Yes. Schott.
Yes.
Next item under new business, resolution authorizing the creation of the Hotel Patee Fund and La Poste Fund. Since entering into the memorandum of understanding, the City of Perry and Perry Economic Development, Inc. have been working together to determine the best strategies for management and operation of the Hotel Patee and La Poste properties. There is a desire to create a special fund specific for said properties for city authorized maintenance, upkeep, and or renovation of the properties. This resolution authorizes the creation of such special funds and affirms that all monies received for the purpose of said fund shall be credited to the same, and that no money shall be expended from this fund except upon the appropriation of the council to the proper account. These special funds are being created at this time to allow for the payment of ethos for the Hotel Patee facility study, along with any other future authorized expenditures. Need a motion, please? Discussion?
So with the Hotel Patee Fund, Susie wanted to create this because we're starting to get that first bill for the Ethos project. So that funding that council approved the facility study with will kind of go into that fund initially. The post fund will just kind of be there until the time that we do something with it. But Susie and I talked and we just decided let's create both of them at the same time, just so that they're there and ready. But also, we're doing something with the Hotel Patee, so we did a fund specifically for it. Yep, so we have a Towncraft Building Fund, Carnegie Fund, so we kind of try and track everything separately so that we can keep tabs on what's going in and out to a specific building and facility.
Any other discussion related to this fund? If not, call the roll, please.
Walling. Yes. Muller.
Yes.
Berkeley.
Yes.
Schott. Klein.
Yes.
Next item under new business, resolution approving a rural child care market study grant application. Child care is a challenge across rural communities in Iowa and all over the country for that matter, with solutions often being much more complex than the construction of new facilities. The Iowa Economic Development Authority, IEDA, is currently accepting applications for a cost share grant to empower communities to assess their current child care market environment and develop strategies. This resolution would authorize the city administrator to submit such grant application to the Iowa Economic Development Authority for a rural child care market study grant with a cost sharing match of $5,000 in city funds. Motion, please.
Make a motion to pass resolution approving a rural child care market study grant application.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
I was just wondering how many childcare places are licensed in Perry?
So I know there's 3-ish centers, which would be the Presbyterian Church, the Lutheran Home, Acorns and Oaks, and then the Perry Childhood Development Center. Other than that, I think it would just all be in homes, which, did we look it up? And there was 3 to 5-ish
Yeah.
licensed
For
in-home centers, so.
but you don't have to be
Be licensed.
licensed necessarily. The license, I think, is what provides state funding, like if you need state assistance for childcare. You have to be licensed in order to receive that.
And this is a pretty.
Yeah, I think there's more to it. Yeah.
There's a pretty large topic at the Rural Development Summit a few weeks ago, so this just happened to be the grant application window that closes tomorrow. So we have the grant pretty much ready to go, just need approval and then we'll hit submit.
Any further discussion related to this grant application? If not, call the roll, please.
Mahler.
Yes.
Berkeley.
Yes.
Walling. Yes. Schott. Klein.
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution setting a public hearing for fiscal year 2022 budget amendment. The city may amend the previous certified budget by completing a budget amendment form adopted by the city council after holding a public hearing and submitting the amendment to the state. This resolution would set the public hearing for the fiscal year 2022 budget amendment on May 16, 2022, beginning at 6 p.m. in the Towncraft Building located at 1122 Willis Avenue, Perry, Iowa, for council to hear oral and/or written comments. Again, this is just setting the public hearing date. Any discussion relative to setting that date?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
And
Financial person?
Susie sent out an email. She's really not too awfully disappointed to not be here tonight. This is Molly's last high school concert. So kind of a special night for them, but she did send out an email kind of with her master summary of every adjustment that's being made. And then she'll be here next meeting.
And kind of in conclusion, she said it won't affect the levy rate.
Correct. Yep.
Any further discussion on setting this public hearing? If not, call the roll, please.
Walling. Yes. Klein.
Yes.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Schott.
Okay, that concludes new businesses. Now we move on to ordinances. First one is ordinance amending the Code of Ordinance, Chapter 99, Sewer Services Charge. The current rate chart for the sewer services was adopted by resolution and will end on the July 2022 billing. It has been determined that when establishing new rates, the action should be done by ordinance. New rates are needed to be established to reflect the current debt liability for the new sewer facility. This ordinance would set the new rates starting fiscal year 2023, going through fiscal year 2026. Second reading. Need a motion, please?
I make a motion, we pass ordinance amending the code of ordinance, chapter 99 sewer service charges.
Discussion? And we will not amend the rules to do third reading tonight. We'll do the third reading in our next meeting. Call the roll, please.
Berkeley,
Yes.
Lawler,
Yes.
Walling. Yes. Schott,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next item under ordinance is ordinance providing for the division of taxes levied on taxable property in the May 2022 addition to the Perry Urban Renewal Area. Pursuant to section 403.19 of the Code of Iowa, this ordinance is to provide for the division of taxes levied on taxable property in the May 2022 edition of the Perry Urban Renewal Area in order to create a special fund to pay for the principal and interest on loans, money advanced to or indebtedness, including bonds proposed to be issued by the city of Perry to finance projects in such areas. Motion, please. Discussion?
So this is just amending our urban renewal ordinance to be in line with projects that we added to the plan and all of that. So this is just kind of some of that housekeeping to be able to take up the development agreements at the May 16th meeting and have that public hearing. And I believe we needed all 3 readings in this
Yeah, so
meeting.
if possible, yeah. It'll have the fancy
And I
verbiage
forget-
that goes with it that I can help with.
I forget
And
what
I
the-
only know because it's on the resolution spelled out.
Yeah, we will.
So this is the first reading and we'd like to do all 3 tonight. Is that what I understand?
Yep, so I'll do roll call on the first reading. And then the next motion would be somebody to motion and then second to, suspend the rules with the fancy language. And then we'll hold the final reading.
Okay, so this will be the first reading. Any further discussion before we call the roll on the first reading? If not, call the roll, please, on the first reading.
Walling. Yes. Klein. Yes. Berkeley.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Okay, as you're aware.
And I'll second that.
This is that different language to be
Yes.
able to.
So this is the language that talks about doing the final, or suspending the rules and doing the final reading.
Yeah.
Suspend the rules and do the final. There we go.
Okay, we need to call the roll on that. If there's no further discussion.
I
Need a
will
second.
second that.
Yeah, Berkeley second.
Okay, now, any discussion on suspending the rules and making this change? If not, call the roll, please.
Walling. Yes. Berkeley.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Klein. Yes.
Will you do it one more time? Or?
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was just a second. So we need to do it again.
Okay. I make a motion to pass an ordinance providing the division of taxes levied on taxable property in the May 2022 edition of the Perry Urban Renewal Area pursuant to section 403.19 of the Code of Iowa.
Your motion is to suspend the rules, so we can do that, correct? Okay. Need a second?
Yeah, we already suspended.
Okay.
So this is the.
Yeah.
This is the third.
Okay. So any further discussion?
So, yeah.
Yeah, final.
If there's no further discussion, call the roll, please.
Mahler.
Yes.
Walling. Yes. Berkeley.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Klein. Yes.
Thank you. Having no further business before us tonight, we stand adjourned at 7:05 PM. Thank you, everybody.
Dorsey does it different